Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, well, he said he'd go down in history, but that's only because he once fingered a girl in geography. He's my co-host, Mr. Taylor.
Oh yes, and he was a teacher.
Oh!
Yeah, good girl she was.
I bet she got sacked for that.
No.
Well, anyway, thank you for joining
Oh,
us.
not.
And welcome to another episode of the show.
Yeah.
Thank
Lovely.
you for so long for... I'm fucking up. Thank you so much for coming along.
We're
Whether you're a
grateful.
new listener or a repeat offender,
Keep repeating.
thanks for joining us. We've got an interesting topic tonight. It's an
Oh, yeah.
extraordinary true story.
Yeah.
And it's basically a captivating tale of the lost city of the monkey gods,
Ooh.
which is located in Honduras.
Yes.
So prepare to be amazed as we deep dive into this remarkable story. It's
is.
very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Very true.
It's so Indiana Jones, but it also reminds me a bit of the Oak Island mystery. You know,
yeah.
lost secrets and hidden treasures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
They got a bit of a bigger area, though.
do you remember in Truman's Show when he goes, I want to be an explorer,
Yeah.
like the Great Magellan.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she
yeah.
says, oh, everything's been discovered, you know.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
been discovered, I wouldn't bother, I won't waste your time. But no, that is not true.
It is not.
There's plenty to discover. If you feel the thrill of adventure,
Yeah.
then you do it. But
You know what? I would have, apart from
he's
in the
not
younger
got-
days.
he's not got a whip
No.
or a fedora.
No, some of the stuff that's in this that like
Well,
it's like you
this
know
is
what,
the thing,
nah,
yeah,
man,
right?
You know what, that's too
Because-
dangerous, man.
Although it sounds exciting,
Yeah,
you know,
it would be.
tickling adventure,
Yeah.
but there was a darker side to the story. We'll be going
Yeah,
into it a little bit later, well worth sticking around for.
Hell yeah.
So it begs the question,
Yeah.
what have you been up to this week?
Hiding away from swarms.
Swarms?
Yeah.
Why swarms or what?
This afternoon, I went out into
I see bees.
bees. Yeah, I went out into the back garden, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing, and it's like that's getting closer and it's getting louder as well.
What? So you've got a swarm of bees?
So we had, we had it last year
I
as
can
well.
just, do you know what? For some reason, I've just got this mental picture of like, do you know when the bees form a shape of an arrow in a cartoon?
Yeah. It was nearly like that.
I've seriously got this idea of you running around the back garden with an arrow-shaped swarm of bees after you.
Oh, no, I run straight in, told my brother to shut his window, and then he looked out the window, he goes, why? So he looked out and he was like, oh my days,
Wow,
look
killer
at
bees
that.
taking
Yeah.
over.
Well, that's
Some
the
Wu-Tang
difference,
bees.
thank fuck for that, to be honest, because like, if it would have been killer bees, more chance of
Dying?
an attack, yeah.
Well, there's almost 100% extra chance of dying.
Yeah, but they are spreading widely in America at the
Oh,
moment.
are they?
Yeah,
Killer
yeah.
bees taking over?
Yeah, going from
The
the, south,
Buffalo
coming
Soldier.
up, going up north. Yeah, they're
Wow.
they're a bit dangerous, man.
There you go. Watch out for swarms of bees in any shape, form, or size. I'm
Any
not
kind of swarm.
allergic to bees, but I do see them smashing against the window today. It's been a lovely weekend.
I think it's been nice.
Actually, it was really nice last night because I could hear the Arctic Monkeys were playing in Trafford Cricket Club.
Oh, right,
and
okay.
you could hear them, so it was like, hey,
See, you got a free ticket.
a little bit. You
Yeah.
could hear a bit, but yeah, it was decent. Do you know what? It's one of those. I've seen them before. I've seen them live before.
Ah,
But, yeah. Really good band to see live, actually.
Right.
Got a question for you.
All right.
This is a mind-boggling, head-twister pickle of a question.
As normal.
If two mind readers, this is actually a good question for the audience as well. If you could answer this question, let
Please
us know.
email us. Yeah.
Send us a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Right. So if two mind readers each read each other's mind,
Yeah.
whose mind are they actually reading?
Well, it depends, because if I'm reading your mind and I want to find out information at the back of your mind,
Right, but
then
I'm-
I won't be reading my mind.
Okay,
You reading my mind.
let's set the scenario, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a mind reader,
Yeah.
right? And I'm reading your mind, but
Right.
am I? Because you're reading my mind, so are you actually reading your own mind flipped off the other mind reader?
I think it'd be a mix of between. To
Maybe.
be honest, I reckon it'd be like you'll get little forms right and little forms you remember
I reckon
yourself.
there'd be some sort of cross, do you know, like
Yeah.
some cross chatter, and it'd be like when, you know, Professor X comes across another mind reader and he'd have these mind battles, but it's not
pretty fucked, though.
You'd be like battling against it. I think if a mind reader was able to kind of like sense that was another mind reader, they'd be able to kind of like block their mental telepathy, potentially.
Yeah, brick wall. Yeah.
Put up your
old
shield.
brick wall.
What do you reckon? Or would it be like I said earlier? Would it be a chicken and the egg situation? It was whoever got the drop on the first one. Yeah.
Well, true, but it's all about what they're looking for. If they're looking to find out what you're thinking now, then I would say, yeah, you could read. You're reading your own mind. But if they're looking in there to look at information somewhere else in your brain, then no, I don't think.
Typical.
But then again, if you were looking at me,
looking in the back door,
looking at yourself at the information that I was looking for. Yeah.
All right, I'll let you have that. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to try and unpack that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you understood that, you give us a shout. Yeah. Give a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Well,
tell me I'm right.
Tell him he's talking shit. Maybe. Well, we've got lots going on in the show. We'll tell you what we have done.
Yeah.
We've just set up a TikTok.
We have.
We don't do TikTok. We don't generally do TikTok normally, but I mean, it's like
for us.
It's one of them where you got to go where the traffic is, in it.
That is true.
You know, and do you know what? Everyone's been really nice over there.
Yeah.
So we set the page up. So if you were have a TikTok.
Yeah,
And I don't mean a clock. Go and follow us over on TikTok. We're available on all of the social media platforms as well.
Yeah, and we've already shoved a few up there already, so, you know.
That's what she said.
Yeah, she did. Sticky finger.
Like slinging a sausage up a hallway. Anyway, yeah, so, what's been going on? It's just been lovely weather and everything, but my hay fever's been playing up, talking about, like, you know, nature.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm glad I haven't got it.
So,
to be honest.
But yeah, we do have a bit of a sponsor for this week's episode. This week's episode's brought to us in part by Hive Mind Clothing, the Manchester-based clothing line that has some excellent designs using eco-friendly materials. They plant trees and even have free postage. We love the designs over there, so go and check those out. There'll be a link in the description. So if you're looking for something for the festivals, or, you know, clubbing wear, or just some summer style, then
well, it's get it.
Go and check them out. They do look like they're having limited edition designs as well, so grab them while you can.
Speedy.
They don't do Speedos.
They don't, but you could ask.
You could ask
if they could do some.
You could do.
You never know, they might.
They might do.
Someone would want to buy a pair somewhere.
That's true. That is true. Well, if you've got any questions or anything, you can get in touch by visiting the website at neverstraightAnswer.co.uk or sending us an email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it's an interesting story this week. We're going to dive straight in.
Yeah, why not?
Because it starts like any good story, you know, with a bit of rumour. Yeah,
it does. Just a little bit of
it is an extraordinary tale, and like I say, it is a true story. So the journey begins with going into the untamed jungle of the where is it? Honduran Amazon rainforest.
The eastern side, I believe.
So basically, there was rumours got to go around about these hidden cities that could be based in South America.
Yeah.
Hidden in the jungle. Obviously, natives and kind of people who lived out there
had the stories,
and obviously probably knew more than most about these hidden places.
Yeah.
But like obviously. With the West, we want to explore these things and obviously try and find if there's actual treasure there.
Yeah, get rich or die trying.
So it wasn't until like the late 1930s that teams of explorers would actually embark on expeditions to uncover the truth. They sent out a couple of expeditions, so they were trying to kind of work out whether these legends were true. Obviously, there'd been some discoveries of this type of nature, hadn't they? With like, Aztec, Inca, sort of stuff. So the idea
Greek,
that stuff like this could still be out there is very intriguing.
And there's still a lot more out there to be found.
So I think what had happened is they'd got a handful of kind of teams together over a period of a couple of years. But everyone who went out there came back empty-handed and said that the reports that were of these hidden cities existed were false. They rather didn't, come back at all.
Yeah,
or
there's quite a lot of them that didn't come back.
Or they were just kind of like, there could be something out there, but we couldn't find it. Yeah. So it got to the point where they were on to like the 4th expedition, and they were like, found this chap. What was he called?
Which one?
It's the kind of he was a bit of a wide boy. He was a bit of a kind of a like, no qualifications, no kind of like...
get on his feet, get out there and have a look.
Yeah, well, basically, I think he was just kind of like, I'll find it.
Yeah.
You guys with all your tech, well, not all your tech, but all your kind of like your smarts and you
know nothing, yeah.
So you don't know. It's all about adventuring, and I'm an adventurer, so I'm going to go out there.
Find the biggest crack and go in it.
Turned out he was a bit of a charlatan eventually, but what he said was... he found it. He said he told everybody he found it. He went out there for like 6 months, and when he came back, he had all these artifacts. He was like,
50 pieces,
loads
of
of
pottery
pieces, and he said, obviously, I'm not going to disclose the location of the city because I don't want anyone to loot it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, I can assume,
you're golden boy now.
A pretty reasonable thing to say.
Yeah.
Obviously, this new discovery, if people start finding out about it, they're gonna, especially if there is treasures and riches and archaeological discoveries. So, he said, I'm going to keep this to myself.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know in due course.
Yeah, as soon as he's dealt with the stuff and he's got the teams in there and settled and got what he needed to get out, then he can tell and bring the public in.
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Hitler had something to say about that, because that was around about the time when World War II broke out. And obviously there was like no expeditions of that nature.
Yeah,
people were investing money into
Yeah.
expeditions or, fanciful, stuff or anything like that. So obviously it kind of got put to bed for a while.
Yeah,
like this whole idea of trying to find this lost city.
Yeah, let's get rid of this Hitler first.
Again, unfortunately, he died. Yeah,
he did.
It was only
tragically.
So as far as everybody else knew, he'd never give away the secret,
the location.
or the location.
Yeah.
But over the years, as people tried to kind of find that, they discovered journal entries that he'd written where he'd basically just said, well, we couldn't find anything. We were out there for a while, but then we got bored, came back and bought a load of artifacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just bought a load from, like,
Bastard.
dug up artifacts from places we knew there'd be some, and bought some off markets, and then just passed them all off as these artifacts from this city, which nobody knew the wiser.
Could be roughly closer to what artifacts would have been round there anyway. It's just a different, like, kind of tribe.
Well, anyway, so... obviously, people were like back to square one.
They were
with this because, at the end,
lying swat.
Well, because this guy who's basically they put all their eggs in the basket that we know where it is now. We've got a guy.
You shouldn't do that.
We've got a guy who knows.
Yeah,
right?
you don't know shit.
Well, they didn't know anything. So, according to Douglas Preston, what is it? Pearson.
Yes.
Pearson. How's his weird name, isn't it? Sorry, Douglas. Back in 2012, he wanted to get to the bottom of this.
He did.
So he's an acclaimed writer, Douglas Preston. He led a team of explorers into the jungles to try and uncover the truth, going through the dense jungles of Honduras, where the rumoured city and civilization was rumoured to have been centuries earlier. It wasn't until, they went out there and tried to do a bit of research with modern technology. That they were able to kind of get clues into what might be lay underneath the canopies of the jungle.
Yeah.
So, Pearson was joined by a group of scientists, archaeologists and anthropologists. Rugged adventurers armed with cutting-edge technology and historical evidence. They set to find out the fabled city, but it was buried deep in the jungle, and it was pretty much an unforgiving wilderness, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's that. Just thinking of the trees and the thick jungle to get through, you've got to also consider all the dangerous animals that are around there. You've got red ants. You've got like snakes, also leopards and stuff like that. And
well, yeah, it was swamps. There was various snakes and
sinkholes,
bloodthirsty insects. There was so many predators. They had cameras up, so they were catching like wildlife. That
that's right.
They'd never even, these wildlife out there that is because this jungle. You've got to remember, this jungle was jungle that nobody's even stepped foot in. Yeah, for absolutely at least 600 years.
Yeah.
Right. So imagine what's lurking in this jungle.
Yeah, and they're not frightened of whatever when we walk in because we haven't been a threat yet.
Yes, exactly, because most animals, they'll keep away from us because they know humans are bad. Right? Keep away from them, they're a threat.
Yeah.
Whereas these animals were like really like inquisitive about the team that went in there because like they'd not seen humans.
And they're hungry.
Well, these particular animals haven't because they were generations earlier than the humans that came into the jungle previous. So, this generation of animals had never seen a human.
Not at all.
And they were really like inquisitive. Apart from the spider monkeys who were just like...
Yeah, I think they had the tip off.
Started throwing stuff at them and, being really quite aggressive.
Well, that's quite good on in a kind of way because it sets a thing that... the monkeys were actually, in a kind of way, they've communicated that kind of thing down. You know what I mean? To the next generation and if it's been like 600 years, it can show that the monkeys actually have a communication way.
Yeah, maybe the monkeys have passed down that knowledge because, like we were talking about earlier, about we don't really have that now in the West. I mean. We might do for a bit, but
we have tiny bits. But I suppose that's from grandmas and grandpas, really.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
It's not really like use a bit of white vinegar on your windows because it leaves no streaks. That's the sort of wisdom we're passed down. Whereas, these tribes in the middle of nowhere, it's survival shit. It's like I was saying, if we had to go and survive in that atmosphere, in that sort of environment, we won't last 5 minutes. So there is some smarts to these people and these tribes who live out there in that wild environment.
Part of the film team
and animals,
SAS,
all the animals as well.
Ex-SAS, and they knew, and a lot of people who went there were actually not just filmmakers. They were trained to the highest standard to
they had military with them.
Get through there.
Yeah, they had military with them. Like I say, the team pressed forward, hacking the way through the dense undergrowth.
That's a
trying to, it was seriously humid. The spirits were pretty much kind of like,
sinking all the time.
Yeah, and they were just trying to find and get to the bottom of this civilization. Now, the reason why they did actually have evidence to suggest that this did exist, and it wasn't just a fable.
No.
Because Douglas was using. He basically went out and used LiDAR to scan the jungle region. And what they did was they got quite a small passenger plane.
Yeah.
And fitted the equipment to the bottom of the plane. So there was a laser that kind of beamed down onto the canopy, and then that sends back a beam back to their equipment on the plane, and it kind of gives you a really good sort of virtual image of what the
3D image of all the environment.
So it so if you did that in a grid pattern, you can build up a really good idea of what the terrain looks like.
They were bored out there, fucking nut.
Even take the tree canopy away, and just see what the ground penetration. That's what she said. Ground penetration says.
Yeah.
So. It's interesting data, but like as soon as you remove the tree canopy, you can literally see the shape and outlines of historical
square buildings.
Yeah, basically buildings,
and even a pyramid.
The outlines of a city, basically.
Yeah, and it's around about a mile across, so it's no small.
No, that was just one structure. They said was about 2.5 miles long.
Yeah,
and that was one of the biggest structures he'd found. Yeah. Going deep into the jungle like that. Obviously, they had to camp out, and it was very risky because
it was 20. It was 20 miles to actually be out if they had a landing place to actually get there. But they got an helicopter pilot to actually come in and actually, because of the radar, they actually found a way of landing, and now the actual military over there use that to actually find places to land where ordinarily they wouldn't have.
Yeah, because I suppose like it was really solid to traverse, so now they have that data. I think the Honduran government have been really, really happy about the discovery and kind of all that information that they've brought to the table, because obviously the LiDAR detected a range of things. Obviously it's a great innovative method of allowing them to predict, how thick the canopies are and how to kind of traverse this area.
And it saves time as well on just looking everywhere where you've got perfect spots where it's a possibility.
Yeah, but the LiDAR did actually, you're right, it depicted sprawling plazas, pyramid-like structures, and evidence of architectural design. Not only that, though, because they started finding artifacts.
Yeah, a lot of artifacts.
So one of the artifacts, the first artifact they actually came across was a panther head.
Yeah.
And it looked like, it's like a statue of a panther.
Yeah.
And, it did kind of look Incan or Aztec, but imagine coming across something like that in the jungle and basically saying, this is real, that we've actually found this and we're coming close to actually finding some things that you could probably never imagine. You don't know what you're going to come across.
Yeah, you had to use their strength and stone against stone to actually to make.
Now, some of the discoveries that they found were really quite unique because I love the little pots that they were finding. It was like a bowl, but it had little like stool legs.
We're like that little monkey or something.
Well, there's a bit of debate whether that is a monkey. Because some people say it's a monkey, but then some other people are saying that it looks like a human sacrifice, so like a human bound to the pot.
True, but then in that case, I would have put the person in the pot, not sitting on the ledge of the pot. You know what I mean?
Actually,
you might as well, if you're going to cook them, then
that's true. Actually,
they need to be in it, don't they?
Well, I mean, going into all the sort of they found quite a lot of archaeological stuff, but there was a lot of threats as well there, wasn't there? So there was a story about a snake. And one of the crew were basically walking back from the latrine or something. No, was he out trying to find frogs?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I think he was on a lick.
I reckon he got so bored, that he was like, I'm going to go and try and find some acid frogs.
I'm going to get
I want to take photos of him. Yeah, go on, Steve. Yeah, all right.
I'm going to leopard tonight.
We'll leave you to it. And then he comes back going, fucking hell, there's a snake.
A big snake.
There's a fucking snake following me. So he's gone back to the camp and he's reported it. And it turns out that it's actually one of the most venomous snakes in the world. And this is basically
fangs.
If we've never encountered it, then it's going to be deadly to us. So at the end of the day, if one of the snakes bites any of the crew, they're dead. That's it.
There's a low survival rate on it, but there is a survival rate.
So one of the guys, apparently a Brit, who was with them, he's just gone, leave it to me, boys.
SAS geezer.
This is the SAS geezer. So he's gone in and go, leave it to me, boys. He's got himself a stick. Fork end, pinned it down to the ground, and he starts wrestling with the snake. And he said there's venom everywhere. It's all splurting up his hand, which is blistered and bubbled his hands where the venom struck. Right?
Because the venom is it's like an acid when it goes into his.
Yeah, imagine that. I mean, he's not even been stung with it, but because it's just contacted the skin, and it's that volatile bubble in his skin up. That is quite disgusting. Yeah. So this is the type of things they've had to kind of go against. Now, I mean, even to that extent, I think I'd be still interested in going on an expedition like that.
Yeah, I don't think that kind of thing would stop me, because I'd be armed to the fucking teeth and shit like that. You ain't coming near me.
Because, I mean, and even though, right, and this is what, Douglas says in his in an interview with him, he says, he felt awful because obviously they've gone into this untouched jungle, and the first thing they do is kill a wild animal. And I'm not condoning. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing
but that's
at.
Humanity.
This is.
And it's things we have to do.
This is the thing, isn't it? Because they go, oh well, they'll learn to fear us and keep away from us. So what does he do? He gets the head of the snake and pins it to the tree, like all the other snakes are going to go, oh fuck, we better stay away from him.
Like the old kingdoms, shove a head on a
head
spike.
On a pike. Yeah,
that's it.
That'll tell people not to come calling.
Yeah. Seemed to work though, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. They took, obviously necessary precautions on, when they went out into the jungle, but like it was still safety and stuff was pretty kind of key.
Yeah, So there's no hospital down the road, man.
And overcoming the challenges of the jungle was constant threat and disease.
Yeah. You're lucky if you get a mile within a day.
Yeah. Well, they eventually reached a remote valley in an area previously untouched by human hands, and that's where they basically uncovered the ancient city, the legendary La Cubid Blanca, which is the White City.
That
right?
is.
So, that's crazy. I mean, first of all, to find this.
Yeah.
And actually be the people to discover it. And no one's ever set foot in it. I mean, how awe-inspiring would that be? How amazing would that be to just even...
Hell yeah, well, in a kind of way, it's brilliant because we can find out a bit of history around there, and it, at one point or another, it would attach to our history somewhere along the lines. But the worst thing about it is we find something there, digging crew comes in, animals are going to be going all over the place or even get extinct because we want to find something from history.
Well, what they found was nothing short of amazing. Yeah. So the sights that greeted them was nothing short of awe-inspiring. The city was adorned with statues of the monkey god.
Yeah.
It basically revealing itself sprawling metropolises hidden beneath the layers of tree canopies.
Did you ever see the big monkey? The central?
Well, this is the thing. It's like a huge sort of statue, but it also looks like a bit of a building.
It's like King Kong kind of thing.
It's almost like, this huge sort of temple with a monkey...
King in the centre.
On the top of it. It is like a bit King Kong, isn't it? Yeah.
I wonder if they got a King Kong around.
We'll definitely post some photos on Instagram so you can check it out, because they did take some photos. They
did, and they are bringing out a documentary soon.
Well, there is we'll get into that because there is a book available, and we'll post links in the description. It is called The Lost City of the Monkey Gods.
Yeah. Don't forget to go through audios to get it for.
We'll leave some links, don't you? We'll leave an Audible link, and we'll also leave an Amazon link to that. Yeah. If the documentary's out, I will post a link to that one as well.
Yeah, I think it's due soon.
So, obviously, it's a captivating tale, and it's a true story. The Lost City of the Monkey Gods in Honduras, obviously serves as a reminder of the world is still filled with hidden wonders waiting to be discovered. But, like we said, it's not all roses. It wasn't all
is this a point where you're going to tell me where I'm going to get frightened now? This is the one that's going to turn my head and go, I'm not doing it now.
Well, whilst there's various real world diseases and pathogens that can affect the behaviour, cognitive functions and stuff like that, there's there's no real zombie virus. Nothing that's going to make you kind of reanimate and kind of, not in the fictional concept of a zombie. But the idea of a zombie virus, and a virus that's laid dormant for so long and it's been revived,
it's been brought back to
in
life.
A lab, or it's been
natural.
able to attach or infect somebody who's not really supposed to be in that environment, and kind of kicks it back in and brings it into a new realm. Do you know what I mean? Into our realm.
Just needs a bit of sweat banged on.
So obviously, as the team delved deeper into the ancient city, they basically stumbled into a couple of areas of the city, where there was probably high concentrations of this pathogen. And they didn't know at the time. Obviously, when I first heard this, I thought it was going to be because they said, the zombie virus. I'm like, wait a minute. What? So did they all, get zombified? What happened? And I'm thinking, all this stuff's going through my head that, that they might be dancing zombies all in this temple.
Yeah, and
stuff like that. Definitely something that I'd be interested to watch.
Well,
but obviously those dancing zombies rather than the mindless flesh-eating zombies would be better. But
of course.
Picture them all just virus, cha.
Even though I wouldn't want it.
Well,
I wouldn't want the virus.
The problem was it wasn't that sort of virus. It wasn't a dancing zombie virus, unfortunately. No. But they did get a flesh-eating bacterial disease.
Yeah.
And it was called aleisaniasis. Disease.
Don't look it up, apparently.
Don't Google it.
Yeah,
right, because you won't. It's probably not the thing that you want to look at. But
infection knows the muscle around and the complex that holds it together.
All the cartilage and stuff like that.
The same with your mouth as well. And
how they've contracted this is they've been in the jungle. They've been doing the business, digging in the ground. They've been disturbing things that haven't been touched for so long, and the fact that they've been exposed to something. Now, you would think that,
or has everyone been exposed? That's a question.
We'll get into that, right? Because basically, what happened was the expedition was a success. They found what they went out to find. They've got all this data. They've found places to where they can kind of safely get into the area now because of the LiDAR. The teams, found a variety of new species of animal, of plant, of insects, species that they actually thought had gone extinct. Right?
Loads of pottery.
You'd think, perfect. They all come back. Shake hands with the Honduran government. Everybody's happy. Right. So much so that the Honduran government put the jaguar statue on a stamp.
It did indeed.
And obviously the artifacts went into circulation, into museums and stuff. But it was only a couple of weeks after they got back when people started noticing funny things going on. Right? Now, this pathogen that had infected them had started slowly eating away. Right? And people were becoming sick and getting kind of... Basically, the faces were being eaten away. Right?
That's right.
To an extent that, it horrific, gruesome shit. Right?
There's hardly any, at least a majority of them have got scarrings over it.
And obviously it's a disease that doesn't really go away. It's something that it can reoccur. Do you know, when people say about getting cold sores, that's a form of herpes. Right?
That's right.
And if you get a cold sore and say if you get those quite often, and you get stressed out, it can resurface them.
That's right.
So
it's kind of like that.
It's almost like the disease isn't gone; it's just dormant.
It's just dormant.
And certain things can bring that back. Right now, unfortunately, 60% of the expedition crew got sick with this. Right.
They were.
So there's obviously a lot of people who've never really recovered from the expedition.
I'm still on recovery.
One of them said, we'd do it all again. He was totally
he's a psycho.
He said, you know what I mean?
Yes,
it was
guy.
The fact that they found this amazing discovery, it was totally worth it.
In a way, it was, but it's the aftermath in it really on what comes next. I mean, the president invited them back. He even went there when they were there to actually have a look what they were looking at.
So do you think the president could have, it depends where and what it was that infected him, and, is it a sort of thing that they could,
is it natural or something?
Well, maybe. I mean, what I'm getting at is it transmittable? So if they get something or they've got it on the clothes or it's, if they've breathed it in, are they able, or is it like,
by touch and then by air? As soon as it goes to air, that's where.
Well, what's that stuff called? Asbestos.
Yeah.
Whereas asbestos, it is kind of like it's a rock, isn't it? Really, but like if it gets into the air, it can be quite devastating. And it'll rip your lungs apart. That's with
most viruses as well.
So if this is the similar thing where it's like once you've breathed in asbestos, you can't pass it on to anybody else. Is it that sort of thing? Because obviously him going straight round to the Honduran Prime Minister and the Prime Minister coming out to visit.
Well, that's it. No, if they can pass it on to someone else, then that means that it's airborne. once it's gone into your system, if it's coming out of your system by touch or anything else, and you can pass it on by breath, then that means it's airborne, and then that means it's very hard to stop it then, because it's in the whole environment, so it spreads a lot faster, and like you can't get away from it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Well, zombie viruses aside, you know what I mean? I mean, honestly, the technology that they use, though, the LiDAR, I really kind of rate that as a technology, because it gives you the ability to see in places that we never were able to see before.
Yeah, and it's brilliant technology, man.
But it's really primitive. Yeah,
I think we can do a lot more with it.
In the way that we implement it, right? Yeah. Now, drone technology, whereas they in 2012, drones weren't probably as advanced as they are today.
No.
Yeah. Now, I reckon if they sent drones with LiDAR up and were able to repeat the grid pattern, or maybe do a tighter grid pattern,
that'd be much
better,
better,
able to find a lot more data.
Because it could be up there a lot longer.
Well, because it can be up there a lot longer. They could send out multiple drones at once, so they can cover a lot more ground. And also, they don't have to keep banking across with the plane, because don't forget, they were in a little passenger plane when they were doing this.
That's true.
So they had to keep banking across and trying to stay on a grid formation.
And go back, refuel, go back up again,
so
and all the weather changes as well.
There's chances that there are anomalies in that data, or they might have picked up some stuff with a bit more detail.
It's best going over again and again and again to make sure.
Drone technology now, I think that they'd probably be able to get a clearer picture. Obviously, there's no clearer picture than going in there and finding it out. But I do recommend hazmat suits next time, guys. Probably a good idea.
It's going to be hot, though, but then it's raining all the time as well.
This is the thing. I mean, they worry about looters, but, I mean, who is prepared to traverse this sort of landscape just for a bit of an ink and pot or whatever?
Brave people, because they're putting something in front of them that they don't know what's there, and they're putting themselves in harm's way so we get to find out the history of that area, and possibly, you know, a little bit more about the world's history just on that tribe or group alone, because, you know, we're all connected in one way or another.
Yeah. Well, what is the monkey god?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of tribes and groups that have in the past prayed to animals.
Well, Hindus pray to monkeys.
That's true.
I think. Is that right? So you've got Hanuman is also known as the monkey god of worship, and that's in Hinduism. So, you know, you've got devotees of other. Hanuman is the monkey god who saved Sita from the in the story of Ramayana, I think. I do apologise. I'm really terrible at pronunciation at the best of times. But obviously, in you know, there's a lot of different kind of societies who have this monkey king, monkey god. You know, sort of iconographer. So it's interesting. In this interpretation, though, it's quite interesting because, I mean, have the locals around that area got any kind of connections to it now?
Through blood. If you know, they might be the set off from the tribe that used to be there.
Yeah, well, possible. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean,
at least 2%, something like that. There might be, I would say, because if a lot of them died from diseases in that area, which because of the conquest of the Spanish and other countries.
Well, this is it. Yeah, the Spanish were in and out of there, weren't they? But I mean, it's like I'm quite interested because I couldn't really find anything specifically about why this monkey god was so important, and why the
area is supposed to have been cursed as well.
Do you know what it reminds me of, though?
What?
Do you know in the Jungle Book when you've got the
that's a long time ago.
Well, the film, the Disney film, The Jungle Book, when you've got like Mowgli and all the rest of it, and then they go to meet King Louis, who was the Monkey King, right?
Yeah.
And he's like base of operations, or where they go to see him.
Yeah.
He's living in a temple. Yeah, and he's like in the jungle. Man. Yeah, well, he's the Monkey King, but it's all kind of ruins. It is kind of like Aztec ruins. Yeah. So Disney, again, knowing these things, like, was that something to do with it? Obviously, that film came out around about the 1960s, was it?
Yeah.
Around about that era.
Yeah,
so, obviously it was after the time of the story originating.
Yeah.
So was this kind of like a nod to it? Or like, I know it was set in like an Indian jungle, so basically it was set in like it was a Hindu.
On that,
so maybe potentially it's connected to the Hindu monkey god.
I would say so. Yeah. But it's
go.
Interesting that it's a big monkey, and it's like
wow, it is huge. I mean, I will be posting some photos. I'll post some on Instagram and obviously some on Twitter.
We've got to try and find the language that, if they've left any kind of language there, so we can learn a lot more about the history there, and then do exactly what we've done with the Aztecs and stuff like that. Well,
it's funny actually because there's a lot of glyphs on the stuff they're pulling up, which is very Aztec. They've got the sky symbols
they would
all over them.
I should imagine that they had done business on both sides, you know what I mean? Because it was an open country, and it was always getting invaded.
Well, I've always said this as well, like, these lost tribes, they say that they were kind of isolated, but I reckon there was some sort of connection and communication between them, because
and breeding outside your own area.
They share so many ideas and so many kind of ways of doing things,
that's true.
And
the gods,
languages and gods and all the rest of it. So, there you go. That's the Lost City of the Monkey Gods. The book is available on Amazon. We will leave a link in the description as well as the audiobook. If the documentary's out, I will leave a link to that as well. If you got any questions or you'd like to comment about the topic tonight, get in touch at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com or go to the website at neverstraightanswer.co.uk. Well, monkeys aside, right, I've got a news story coming up in the news about a zombie virus.
Oh, right.
So we'll be getting into that in a second. Viruses. But, this is the thing. I have just defined what a zombie virus is, didn't I? Yeah. So, it's not, a plague of zombies. It's just a virus.
Anyway.
It's a virus that's been reanimated.
Although the amount of changes in words lately, it's like it's getting fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because like words are changing the meanings.
Oh, I mean, you wouldn't want to get that though, would you?
No. No. Whatever the kind of virus is there, don't fucking want it. Put it away.
At least a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's very selfish, very narcissistic.
That just reminds me of we did have one in the 80s where it would eat your face.
That's what this does.
Yeah.
Well, don't Google it. Like I said, it'll give you nightmares.
Don't want to see it. Just think about it.
Well, milk, lemonade, round the corner, fudge is made, and we'll tell you how the fudge is made in the news coming up in a few seconds. Just a quick reminder, though, we have actually launched a new subscription-based service, I suppose. You can go over to Spotify and you can sign up to bonus episodes that only you can listen to.
Yes, no one else
for the low price of £1.99. Which actually is really good value considering there's over 50 bonus episodes over there.
And more coming.
We just released the Schofield Files, which is a new episode.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And you will get these hidden episodes are going to be a bit more kind of.
We can speak more.
A bit more fruity and saucy, shall we say? We got a good episode coming up this week, actually. So
we have, yes.
Make sure you go over to NASA Plus. Over on Spotify and sign up. You can sign up via the Anchor app as well, which I think is just now Spotify for podcasters, isn't it? I think
so, yeah.
Which they've rebranded that. So check it out. We've got a lot of news to cover. So without further ado, it's the news. Boom, boom, boom.
Shake that.
Go the guns. Boom, boom, boom.
They do indeed.
Go the German guns. That's a war poem by Baldric.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember it, actually.
he's
Yes,
good
I do,
poet.
yes.
In fact, I think, what was it?
Poet didn't know.
Richard Curtis said that, I think, some kid, he went to a talent show. I think it was rather Richard Curtis or Baldrick.
Yeah.
He said he went to a kid's talent show, and some kid actually came out and said, I'm going to read a poem by S. Baldrick. Called The German Guns, and he did it on stage, and he was well impressed. So anyway, that's
did
not
he win?
news.
No,
probably not. Zombie viruses, I promised you.
You did.
Zombie virus has turned up. They turn up everywhere, don't they?
They're everywhere.
So basically, this is a story that's doing the rounds. Doing some research in Antarctica. As
messing about,
has fucked some shit up. Scientists have revived a zombie virus that has spent 48,000 years frozen in permafrost.
Fuck's sake! Don't you ever watch the films or fucking learn history?
This is how apocalypses happen, people.
Yeah.
You know,
mess with shit you don't understand with.
Seriously,
treated
people.
Dangerous all the time. You know, wear the suit and. You know,
get
all your gizmos out to have a little look at the area.
Well, it's actually, quite a big deal, this, because warmer temperatures in the Antarctic are obviously thawing the region's permafrost, which is the frozen layer of soil beneath the ground. Obviously, permafrost can get really hard, So if you ever watch, the gold mining programs, they really struggle with it when they start getting into the winter months.
It's
so
like concrete.
This is what cripples their gold mining season, because it literally turns the ground to concrete. But this is the problem with the fact that the polar regions are melting. This permafrost is obviously melting, and it's unleashing things that have been trapped underground. For so long. Obviously, the pandemic was bad enough, but obviously this is things that get unleashed from the distant past. Obviously sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, like you've just said. But obviously, it's legit. These things can happen. They reckon they've actually found 6 new pathogens or 6 new viruses. But they've managed to revive one.
Oh, thank you.
They've brought it back to life. And they've even got it to the point now where it's big and strong enough to infect hosts.
So when are they using it then?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because obviously, we're all hosts, we're all targets in this instance. The woman who actually discovered it,
we're the mice, man.
The scientist who's actually been doing the research on it said, that
kill it now.
It's actually could be really bad for public health if it was to get out.
Kill it now.
Why incinerate the motherfucker?
I'll tell
you why. The other 5 that you got, put them back in the freezer.
The reason why they like fucking about with them is because of the next generation of diseases. That if they can find something that can destroy them, then they've got more power for the next one that comes.
I understand that. They brought it back to research it.
Still fucking about.
And it's like, but that's risky in itself.
It is.
But not researching it and leaving it to just basically, what's going to happen.
But that's natural evolution. That's
100%. But I mean, at the end of the day, we still want to fight for survival. Natural evolution aside. But what I'm saying is, if whatever's happening with the global temperature, if this permafrost actually melts, and this is just if this is just the tip of the iceberg of things, literally, right, of things that could be lurking underneath the permafrost, and this is just the first bit of shit that we're discovering, then once it melts, it's out. It's not a case of like you say, it's evolution. I mean, if we're not adapted to cope with these ancient long lost viruses, then
and not
we're
just
going to
one
get
at
wiped
a time.
out. I mean, literally, what's happened with the pandemic was small fry. That was literally
but that was human made, wasn't it?
That was the equivalent. Yeah, exactly right. The stuff that is lurking out there is stuff that we've no idea what it is, and we don't know what the capabilities have.
We've got no cures
or what the effects on the human body would be. We've just done a story about guys who went out into the jungle, into an unknown area where no one's been for years, and they bring something back out with them. Yeah. I mean, it's not within the realms of possibilities. So,
no.
It is an interesting one. So, yeah, this is the permafrost covers a fifth of the northern hemisphere, and having underpinned the Antarctic tundra. It's Alaska, Canada, Russia. There's a lot of
melting going on.
A lot of stuff going on.
To be honest, it's going to happen at a point. If like the solar system's like warming up, it is going to warm up here, and we're not going to be able to stop it. So.
Well, it is, and they've also been able to uncover 2 cave lions with lion cubs and a woolly rhino.
Oh, right.
This is all because it's melting.
Yeah. Could get to the treasure. They don't need no.
A woolly rhino, though. I love that.
Oh,
I've never even heard of a woolly rhino. I've heard of woolly mammoths. Woolly rhinos.
Well, I would have thought a lot of animals back in the day, especially around that area, would have a bit of wool on them.
Yeah. If you're living in the tundra, you need to be woolly.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You'd be like, you got a jumper on.
But
stick
then again,
one on.
It could have been really hot there. But then at the time of the change, it was so slow that they actually moved up there. But then again, we have been a ball of ice as well.
Adapted.
So that'd be everywhere.
And survived.
Yeah.
Right, well, there you go. Obviously cold, these viruses, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Thanks to chickens.
Any news you want to talk about? I went all high pitched. Any news you want to talk about?
Any news?
My ears, go on.
Yeah. China. China are drilling.
Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken.
Oh yeah. A hole.
Had a drumstick and the brain starts ticking.
Over 11,100 meters borehole.
Oh yeah, I've got this story myself.
Have you?
Yeah.
See.
They're digging a big hole.
They are, yeah.
Why are they digging a big hole? I don't know.
Because
we like a big hole on this show. We've covered a lot of varieties of big holes.
We have indeed.
You know what I mean? But China, trying to be the biggest, they want to dig right down into the bloody earth. I don't know what they're planning.
Close to the world record, which is 12,262 meters.
Are they going to just drop a big bomb down it or something?
No, I think.
Fuck you.
I think because there's a lot of countries, including America, have tried to dig further than 12,000.
Well, we did, didn't we? We did an episode on it.
Yeah,
the
we
journey
did
to the centre of the earth.
Yeah.
We've covered how deep people have got the records and stuff.
Yeah.
Go and check it out if you're interested. It's a good episode.
It was. Yeah.
So digging a big hole. What they scientific research.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want to try and get to the mantle.
And they want the record.
Yeah, it's a good record to have, isn't it?
And imagine the power that they could have.
We did talk about this because it's interesting that, we do know, we know more about space now than we do about this planet and what actually goes on below the surface and the oceans. So, interesting to know that they are actually taking interest and doing research.
Yes, it is.
So, apart from just being a big hole, have they found anything?
No, they're just they're nearly at the record, so they want to obviously bypass there, and I think they might have a drill piece that could get through. Which, if it does, it gives us more information about below our surface, because realistically we don't know that much. A lot of it is a guess, an estimation. Same with inside of a lot of other planets, but I mean. The moon now and Mars, there's a few more changes that have been going on over the last year alone about underneath the actual planet, that it's a little bit more different than we suspected. So yeah, it's just one of them things, isn't it?
Fair enough. Yeah. What's a hole's favourite type of music?
Don't know.
Soul music.
Oh.
Do you know why? Because it fills them up. Hey, why did the rabbit bring a ladder to the library?
No idea.
Because it wanted to read about the whole Hollywood. Anyway, right, I've got some news. Fuck these jokes. Those were terrible.
They were.
I've got this story about a true crime fanatic
Oh, right, yeah.
in South Korea.
Yeah.
You know, we like a bit of true crime. Yeah,
We do,
there's a lot
we
of
do
podcasters. It's a very popular genre.
It
Yeah,
is.
right.
It is.
There's a lot of podcasts on true crime covering all these topics, and it's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
To try and get in the mind of one of these serial killers, do you know? And that's what I think all these true crime podcasters do.
So they can work out if they're not 101.
Well, maybe they've got this sort of kind of like, morbid curiosity. Well, this one true crime fanatic in South Korea actually acted on his morbid curiosity and killed somebody.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she killed somebody she met online just out of curiosity to see what it'd be like to murder someone for real.
Oh, my. In South Korea?
Yeah, this is in South Korea, yeah. So, a 23-year-old South Korean woman was identified and charged with murder on Friday. The woman was obsessed with true crime TV shows, books, and according to authorities, she said she killed. The killing was done out of curiosity to see what the murder would feel like in real life.
Okay.
So the top editors give the story, fucking the rights to, put it out there. But it's
That's mad, because I've got a South Korean nutter as well.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I have. There was a man...
We're very in sync tonight.
We are. Who explained why he opened the door mid-flight whilst landing in South Korea. 33-year-old man. And he said it was because he was... fearful and was getting claustrophobic, so he had to open the door.
Oh, right.
And he's now apologised to like the kids who were on the plane and that for doing it.
Yeah, I heard about this guy because he opened the plane door, didn't he?
He did, and he's now looking at up to 10 years in jail.
Jesus. Well, did put people at risk, so, you can't blame him for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't want no nutter
no
on the
matter
fucking
how
plane.
kind of like, freaked out you get, you shouldn't
Yeah, if they're going to hurt themselves, but don't do and hurt other people with
Listen,
it.
if you're freaking out on a plane, just shut up and sit down and just say nothing.
Get a gin and tonic.
Have a gin and tonic, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And, what's it? Some Valium will do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't get anything like LSD or anything, no.
Did you hear this?
Yeah.
There was a break-in at Biden's official home.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The Secret Service agent who was guarding the place missed an intruder at Biden's home because they were having a bit of phone time.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah, this happened in April, and apparently an intoxicated man got inside the security, got past the security.
Yeah.
At Jake Sullivan's home. The agents were, basically supposed to be on
fucking
patrol,
about on their phones. A lot of people do that, though.
Doing personal cell phone business and didn't realise there was an intruder.
Yeah, because you were being too dozy on your fucking phone. Well,
Oh, mate, the guy was in and out.
Was he? What
he
did
didn't even see him go.
Oh,
he only,
is this going to be a
realised
Watergate
there was
scandal?
a fucking intruder, literally, once he'd gone.
Just as long as it's a Watergate scandal, yeah, I don't mind that.
This guy's going to come out with some really incriminating documents,
Dodgy
isn't he, or something? He's like, I stole his pocketbook.
Yeah.
It's got stuff in it. Anyway.
Yeah, I got all them files.
Anything you want to
Good
talk
files,
about?
I hope. Yeah. Oh, did you hear about Chinese warship nearly hit a US destroyer in Taiwan?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, May the 25th, South China Seas.
Purpose? Was it done on purpose?
Yeah, they did it on purpose to stop the Navy or the US Navy from actually getting into the area, because don't forget they'd taken quite a lot of the Indian and the China Sea, and they started building bases.
So was it a warning shot, or did they
actually...
actually...
Yeah, we keep getting warnings.
Was it a direct... Was it a hit? Did they hit him?
It was 150 metres away.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so... yards, sorry.
Yeah, fucking hell, that's not too bad. That's pretty close.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, because they have been threatening the US Navy for a long while to stay away from the area, and obviously with Taiwan there, they need to, get their ships in place in case. You know what I mean? Because there's more Chinese warships out there now as well. And plus...
How many of these warships could they fit in the big hole? Do you reckon?
Oh, probably a few.
A few of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, put them all in there and stop fucking about firing off. You know what I mean? You're trying to cause a World War III.
Yeah, but at the time, there was actually a Canadian and US military mission going on at the same time. So the Chinese really interfered in that mission.
Oh, in a war game situation?
No, it wasn't a game. It was an actual mission they were on.
Oh, right. So
time.
they got in the way of that, or
yeah.
basically tried firing on them while they were involved in a mission.
Yeah. So it's one of them.
Maybe there was something more to it though, because like if they were on a mission, maybe they knew.
They're both pulling the pants down and showing the winky and just going like, "I've got a bigger one than you."
Yeah, it's the biggest dick competition in it at the moment.
Yeah. They're both cocks.
Putin's still up for war crimes and has an arrest warrant.
He has,
for trafficking.
He ain't gonna serve that.
Trafficking all the kids into the country. It should be a case that they did what they did with Saddam Hussein.
Well, put him in the salary.
No, what I mean is like or Bin Laden. You know what I mean?
Bin Laden, yeah.
Send a crack team in and just fucking sort it. Do you know what I mean? We're getting a bit fed up of this now. It's just going to prolong and get into a situation where we're in a situation where it's like we're thinking, why didn't we do that ages ago? Because
the same problem as we didn't do with Hitler. Once we reckon he's got a double as well. The thing is, once we take him out of place, the next person who stands in there, he could be a lot worse. And it sounds like they may be a lot worse.
You just have to take out the whole cabinet.
Yeah, but then you're going to have a brand new cabinet, but with obviously the rich and powerful are going to be in there.
These are problems, aren't
they? These are the problems. Or we would have solved a lot of problems over in the West if that was the case. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of dickheads in the 1%.
That's true. That. Have you ever heard of Sonic?
The hedgehog, yeah.
Not the hedgehog. This is basically Sonic. It's a fast food restaurant in the States. I think they do hot dogs and stuff like that.
Oh, right. No,
well, this is a story. It's a New Mexico Sonic employee was arrested for allegedly losing a bag of his cocaine.
Oh, shit.
Whilst preparing a hot dog.
Oh, someone got a good fucking deal that night.
Yeah, so the authorities say that the 54-year-old Jeffrey David Salzer was arrested on Tuesday.
54?
Yeah, after a woman found a baggie of white powder inside her order.
Oh,
she got more than she were asking for. Was it a case that this guy was dealing out of the restaurant? And he just said he lost it, and maybe that order wasn't meant to go for her. Yeah.
That's a bit dangerous, you know what I mean?
Well, it's a way of passing on your goods, isn't it? You might be using the restaurant as a cover to deal out of the restaurant.
Well, then
you know what I mean?
Boss can't be there a lot of the time. Then
he might have been the boss. He's 54. He's working in a fucking hot dog vendor.
How can he sack himself then?
Well, the company might have sacked him. He's been arrested.
Well,
it's not a case that he's been sacked. He's been arrested, but he's 54. I think he's rather the manager. Yeah. Or there's something going on here. I think he's dealing or the laundering through Sonic, right? So maybe they want to look into that if they're not already.
Sounds plausible.
The woman identified Celine
Dion
Gonzalez told the police that she discovered the baggie in the after taking a bite of a hot dog.
She just give up, or she would have had it.
She said it's pretty scary. Obviously, when you come home, you get food for the family and the children,
kids,
and then you find something like that in it. It could be actually deadly. The woman told the TV and news outlets.
Yeah, they'll blame.
I totally agree with her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those where it's like people go, "Oh, I found such and such in my burger." Yeah. And sometimes you think,
And not only that, could he been feeding? He could be taughting the kids, into actually taking the stuff. So he's got new clientele for the future.
Maybe sprinkling it on the hot dog so people go, "Oh, what is that hot doggy taste? I'm craving more. I want another hot dog, Mummy."
You do the greatest hot dogs. The price has gone up.
Mum, I'm craving. I'm just fucking hankering for a hot dog. Can you? I'm fucking chomping.
Yeah,
I'm chomping at the bit.
But I ain't got to school.
Right.
I'm going down that
Going
road.
down to this is an intervention.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're just eating too many hot dogs at the moment. I think you need to cut it down. It's like you're sucking up a hot dog
Well,
up your
hopefully
nose,
they've stopped him.
Daniela Westbrook style.
Oh yeah, fucking hell.
Anyway,
Yeah.
any more news you want to talk about?
Yeah, New York sinking.
New York.
It is sinking
into the mud
under its own fat weight.
Well, it is a big city.
It is a
They don't
big
call
city.
it the Big Apple for nothing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are the citizens of New York worried? What are they going to do to? I mean, they've already got alligators in the sewers.
They have.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rudy Giuliani said he was going to sort it. He didn't.
No.
Right.
No.
You know.
But it's 1.68 trillion pounds.
What, to prop it up?
No, that's the weight on going
Oh,
down.
right. I thought you was going to say that's how much it's going to cost to fix.
I think it costs a lot more than that. It is if you add 1.9 million fully fueled Boeing 747s, that'd be the weight of it, basically.
What if everyone moved out?
All the buildings.
It's the people as well. If you think about
Yeah.
how many people are concentrated in one small area.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's a small area,
And-
well built.
Yeah, I mean, think about it as well. You
Everyone needs to move out.
They're going to create a really big donut-shaped crater with Central Park in the middle.
Yeah, they're splitting the earth.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
splitting
that's what
Earth
the
in two.
Chinese are doing as well, aren't
Well,
they? With the
yeah.
big hole.
America are beaten beforehand.
You
You reckon? I think it's 30 meters by 2050.
What?
It will reach.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So what are they planning on doing about the sinking?
Well, they're going to have to stop building. That's one of the major.
I think Manchester's
issues.
going to have that problem at some point. Because
Well, it has got a city underneath, so I'm surprised parts haven't already done it. You know,
well,
what I mean?
maybe
It's nearly there.
But saying that though, that's very strong foundations to build on. Like Edinburgh,
Well, it is,
Edinburgh's
yeah.
a city on top of a city on top of a city, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
held up, remarkably well.
A lot of cities are nowadays, to be honest. It's just like, shove some concrete over and we're
This
fucking
is the
plant
thing.
a
Do you
car
not
park
think
on
that
there.
it's going to be a case of that we build up rather than
Build out?
build out? Because we're running out of space, and I suppose if you can buy,
Well, we are and we
we're
aren't.
we're in a day in an era where modern construction techniques means that we can go higher and further.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
true.
case of that we're going to get to a point. And plus, if you only have a budget for a certain amount of land,
Yeah.
and there's only a certain amount of land available, then you're kind of restricted in building out, aren't you? So you got to build
true,
up.
True, but it's like over here, I think, what is it, by next year we would build... No, I think this year that just gone, we built an extra 2 cities worth of people.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like, that's slow down. But what we're gonna do, we're breeding like fucking rabbits. You know what I mean? We've got 8 billion people here. I remember when it was fucking.
Well, this
fine.
is what I'm talking about like, the idea that, in big cities like New York, it's all concentrated and there are a lot of people and people want to go there rather, holiday in or, live there because it's where the work is. Or just the fact that it's one of the greatest cities.
Yeah.
And
But in a kind of way, it's easy
they need to
targeting
have
for
it's
wars
like
as well.
occupancy. It's one of those where it's like, you get on a bus and it says we can only allow 101 people sitting down and 37 people standing up.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's just the legal amount of you go to a nightclub and they go, fire marshal comes in, there's too many people in, right?
That's right.
Health and safety.
Yeah.
Our city's going to get to that point where they say, I'm sorry, but we have too many people living here.
No, because it also a person makes revenue for them.
True, but they'll still make revenue living in the outskirts or in the suburbs.
Yeah,
It's
but
just a case of that people want
that's
to
less
live
control.
people want to live in the city because it's convenient or it's they like the nightlife or whatever. But
it's more control with people in the cities. You've
I
got
understand.
spy camera everywhere.
I understand. Well, yeah,
outside
exactly.
the cities, you haven't.
True, but I mean, at the end of the day, if the city's actually crumbling through the weight of the fucking what's going on, the amount of people that are actually there.
Bastards there eating burgers and shit.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, you know. I mean,
come on,
to be
let's
fair,
just say it.
Well, no, because I'll be honest with you, Britain's just as bad.
Yeah,
It's got
I totally agree.
It has got an obesity problem. So
the West has.
We can't, you know, label one fucking continent
I totally agree.
as having a problem, because to be fair. Yeah, we're only a little island, and if the fucking South carry on, we're gonna catapult Scotland out.
We got enough chubbies over here, yeah. We need you know,
Anyway. Well, I've got some NASA news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got actually I've got another story before we go into NASA news. 10-year-old arrested.
Oh right, what they do?
After stealing a car and fleeing from the police on I-75.
Right.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, kid. Yeah. So obviously, you know, you get a high-speed police chase. You usually think it's, you know, a grown-up at least, but no, not in this instance.
Think, wouldn't you?
This was a 10-year-old boy. The incident happened on Thursday, May the 27th. Said the police, when a 10-year-old boy stole a 2017 Burke Encore from a resident. In Bernu Vista, I think that's what he says. According to the law, they basically dispatched a unit to kind of pursue him, but obviously the kid went into high speed chase mode.
Yeah, boy.
Heading southbound on I-75. Several people also made 911 calls because the kid looked like he was underage. Slightly.
Is that all?
Slightly.
Not speeding or driving, no due attention, no license, MOT, insurance.
Well, he's just going to get fucking charged as a minor anyway, so you know what I mean? The trooper was behind the suspect for about a mile with lights and sirens active. Obviously, the kid didn't pull over. Thankfully, nobody was injured in the incident, so, you know, there you go. Yeah, but the kid had a thrill ride.
Oh, yeah, I bet so.
Do you remember, have you ever seen, fucking hell, do you ever remember that film Holes? Talking of holes.
No.
It was Shia LaBeouf when he was a kid. He was in a film called Holes. It's a good book, actually, if you've ever read the book. Oh. And it's about a load of kids who get sent to a camp, and they basically dig holes to, you know, build character.
Oh, right, slave camp. Yeah,
pretty much. But there's a kid in that who gets, like, you know, he gets sent there for stealing cars. Yeah, but he's like proper, like,
I think I have, you know.
Gets really excited when he sees like a car go past or whatever. Like, that's what it reminds me of.
I think I may have seen that film actually.
It's a good film actually. He gets sent there, Shia, because he was accused of stealing a pair of shoes. Okay. But he didn't steal them, but he had a curse on the family.
Was this in the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah, and did he run away and
that's right.
He hid underneath like an old boat?
Yeah. Well,
right.
It's a good film. Check it out if you've not seen it.
Yeah.
Well, it's classic.
Have you heard of the man who spent 93 days at the bottom of the Atlantic?
Oh, I did hear something about this actually. Yeah, he's broke a record, hasn't he, for spending the most time underwater? Yeah,
before that it was 73 days. That was set in 2014.
Well done, that man.
But the interesting thing about that is that he says he feels 10 years younger.
Really?
Yeah, and I think there's.
Do you think that's the pressure?
Maybe, I think there may be some scientific reasons over it, and you reckon that it could be to do with your DNA, because at the bottom of your DNA you have strands that come off, and that it's like a life expectancy kind of thing. But they reckon that it didn't come off, that he actually kept them.
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake.
But
you dream about going up there, but that was a big mistake.
Oh yeah,
under the sea. But that's where you know where it's better, down where it's wetter.
I think we should explore more of the sea.
What the chances of the salt water reduce? Maybe it's like a spa treatment. You know, you're under the sea for like so much. You've got all this salt water. It's like, you know, minerals and all the rest of it.
Well, it was only 30 feet below.
It doesn't matter how deep he was. Imagine soaking in that seawater for however long he was in there. It's obvious. If he says he feels better, then there's obviously something to it.
No, he was in a 100 square foot pod, and he stayed in there for the 93 days.
He was still under the water, though.
Yeah, but like, there has to be something there.
It wasn't. I know he wasn't frolicking with the fucking sea lions and all the rest of it.
You never
but
know.
What I mean is, he still spent that time in that environment, in the liquid, soaking in it. Yeah. So maybe the prolonged exposure, maybe it's the same as like when these astronauts go to space and they're physically altered, the genetic changes.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it's a similar thing. Maybe it is a difference in pressure over a long time.
I think a lot to do. I think a little bit to do with pressure, to be honest.
Under pressure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but if it gives you 10 years younger, you know what I mean? It's
maybe.
Right, so it could be a future for, Spa. Take a couple of weeks off, sitting there, you'll feel 10 years younger.
Yes, you want to sit in my rejuvenating pod, you'll feel 10 years younger.
But then you're going to get someone who's over the top who's just sitting there and go, right, I'm spending months in it. Fuck it, I'm spending in a year.
Thinking
every 2 years.
Think it's going to, like, the Lazarus of things. It's going to keep him alive, the fountain of youth.
Yeah, it could be in a kind of funny way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you can prolong it, then that's halfway through the cure. You know what I mean? So
it's interesting because there's actually like when people live next to kind of like these type of areas, and they say, they always interview someone, don't they, from like who will live nearby and say, how old are you? And they go, I've been drinking that water for 115 years. They go, how old are you? And they go,
find it more in the east. I think you find it more in the east, and it's to do with like the food and the air.
I think
less
it's a lot more about
pollution
their environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Which we need.
Moving on, we've got some NASA news.
We have.
An asteroid has been spotted.
Ooh, another one.
Yeah.
This one's, when's it in us?
Well, so basically NASA satellites have been tracking an asteroid, which is 2023 KS2.
I know it well.
Which is heading to Earth, or closely.
Yes, very close.
It's coming closely today, actually. Well, the other day. I think it came closer over the weekend.
Yeah.
So the asteroid is basically space rocks left over from, other formations in the solar system. Obviously a long time ago, over 4.6 billion years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Whilst these space rocks come close to Earth, they don't always, get so close that they're going to hit us.
True, but we are 50,000 years overdue.
We are worth checking them, though. Yeah, yes. Right. And I know we've reported on these loads because they always kind of just whistle past us, and these NASA go, it came close to hitting us, and they go, why, how close was it? And they go, at least 7 light years or whatever, something stupid, and it'd be like, well, that's not close.
Over the 90s, I recognised that when they say that something's gone by, it's done it the day before. They won't tell you. Yeah.
So they're not going to tell you if it's about to hit.
3 times I remember over the years that we were on a proper dangerous collision.
Well, the funny thing is, do you remember the meteorite that actually went through someone's bedroom in Liverpool last week? We talked about it. That's turned out to be a meteorite over 4 million years old, or 4 billion years old. They reckon it is definitely space rock. They're taking it for analysis. I think they're going to do, because it's a big chunk. And it's quite not, obviously people have to go looking for these things out in the wild. Yeah. And there's signs, there are signs to point where, they do land, but like impact craters and stuff like that. But for one to just fall through someone's living room window or come through the roof, it's pretty convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, and imagine the age of it. It's just been through all kinds of shit through space.
It's been floating around out there.
You know what I mean? And I've noticed as well that there has been over the last year more meteorites that have actually come through and actually flying through the atmosphere. There's been a lot more spottings of them in the last couple of years, but we have been through a dust cloud of meteorites. We should be still in there for like a little bit while longer, but there will be an end to it at one point. But then Yeah.
Doody-doo. Well, there you go. NASA have actually been in the papers this week and on the news.
Yeah.
They've held the first public meeting with a panel to investigate unidentified anomalies and phenomenon. The panel will publish the full report in July.
They will.
But the panel itself was really interesting. Obviously, they covered quite a lot of different things, but a lot of the focus was on UAPs and UFOs. Both the names, obviously, the both things to describe unidentified objects.
And we want to know the fucking answers to.
Aerial phenomena.
Yeah.
UFOs, it's one of those where they can't deny that there are things out there and people are seeing things. And I posted one of the most amazing UFO videos I've ever seen on our Instagram. If I've not shown it, if you have not, you should check the social a bit more, shouldn't you, guys?
I should.
But obviously, this is so crystal clear, and from a window of a plane, the cockpit of a plane, that you see this ship fly past, and it's like you can't deny that there is something there, whether it is our own, whether it's a foreign nation, or whether it is indeed extraterrestrial. We don't know, but you have to investigate it, and the questions need to be asked, right? You said that somebody actually kind of was really quite aggressive in their questioning to this panel in terms of why they keep so much a secret, but not only that, about the claims astronauts make when they're saying, well, we've seen stuff, and they've got to sign NDAs, and
basically stood up and started shouting like, we know you're hiding stuff, why are you hiding stuff, we need more data and more truth from you, and that kind of details, you know what I mean? He went right into it, and I think I don't think they give him the right answer.
Well, they said part of the problem in identifying the anomalies and the phenomenons today is the lack of a coherent system to collect the information about sightings.
Yeah.
So, but there's loads of kind of, you got MUFON, you've got loads of agencies that work outside of the government who do their best to try and, catalogue and track.
And if they were funded right and work with the government,
even try and wean out the fakes and the things that can be explained, because obviously these people out there who want to know the truth, they're not just going to go, oh yeah, that's a UFO. Yeah, if you can explain it and say and rule it out, then that's great, because it kind of like it gives you more accurate data, and you're not kind of clutching at straws. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can go with solid information and say, look, we've got all the facts, this is undeniable evidence, but if you throw in a couple of, carrier bags in the wind and claim the UFOs, it takes away from your argument, because it seems like you're kind of going, oh, yeah, any evidence will do, when you want solid evidence, you want realistic, solid evidence, and that's what I think this panel trying to achieve. And I think like the idea that we're actually having an open dialogue and debate and conversation about this means that we're going in the right direction, and perhaps we might be able to come to a fucking actual conclusion about what these things are.
I kind of think it's kind of funny how there are a lot of ufologists out there and that are looking into the stars and trying to find the information in that, and why like companies like NASA and that don't use us. You know what I mean? Actually put a bit of funding aside and go like,
well, because NASA already know. Yeah, NASA know more than they let on.
Exactly. They don't want us to know any more than we already know, and that's too much for their eyes anyway.
Yeah, well, apparently there are a lot of weird sort of metallic orbs that are flying around all over the world. So, Sean Kilpatrick, the head of the
Kilpatrick, how dare he?
Kirkpatrick.
Oh, right.
Sorry, the head of the Department of Defense and UFO branch, formerly known as the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office.
It's a mouthful.
I know, isn't it? Yeah. It's like with SHIELD.
She said.
Basically, spoke at the hearing of strange metallic orbs
Yeah.
Like it one's observed, by the drones in the Middle East last year.
Yeah, and there's plenty of evidence of... There's too much evidence, basically. And, like, we need some... to get the proper answer, we need something desperate to happen, like the government suing Stephen Gray.
How many of the reports do you think are actually unexplained?
I'd say about 5%.
I'd say you're about right. I'd say between 2 and 5% of sightings are really unexplained, which makes sense. Kirkpatrick stated that his research office take about 50 to 100 reports on UFOs and UAPs, and then they try and whittle it down. Most of the things he can explain, and it's easily explained, so that once you know what you're looking for, they could probably get through that quite quick. That's a revelation, I suppose.
Well, it's higher than what it used to be. It used to be 1%, but then it went up to 2%. But I think that's because a lot more people are asking the same question that ufologists have been asking since the fucking dawn of time.
Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah. I mean, there was plenty of revelations. You can check it all out on YouTube. I think they will be doing them on another one of these panels.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it, actually. Cause
I was trying to get it streaming on our YouTube channel, but I was having some problems, and I just ended up sacking it off. But we'll get that sorted for the next one.
We will.
Well, I think that's the end of the show. I think I'm getting a bit tired now. So we're going to call it a night.
We will.
Don't forget, you can go over to the website at neverastraightAnswer.co.uk. If you sign up, you'll get the newsletter, which will be coming out monthly and straight into your inbox, with news on guests and blogs and all the rest of it. There's actually a load of new blogs over on the website.
There is.
At neverastraightAnswer.co.uk.
There's more coming.
Lots and lots of blogs. There's new articles. It's had a great revamp, actually. We've revamped the website. Lots of stuff going on over there. So go over and check it out. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcast. You can. Go over to Spreaker. You can go over to Spotify, iTunes. Yeah, I'd say Spreaker was a good place. Spotify is another good one.
It is.
Sign up for our premium access, where you can get over 50 new episodes or 50 bonus episodes.
Get on the
as well as find us on social media, where we're available on Instagram at Never Straight Answer, Twitter at NASA_Never, and TikTok at Never a Straight Answer.
Yes, we're on
we're available on TikTok now too.
I can't believe that.
Got stuff going on, man.
We have.
Don't forget to check out our sponsors, which is Hive Mind Clothing.
Yes.
A link in the description to all what we've talked about, including the books, the Lost City of the Monkey King, as well as everything else. Oh my God, there's a lot. Seriously, I had to go through a lot. I will be bringing back promos next week and shout-outs. So if you've got a promo and you'd like to get a bit of extra exposure, then send us your promo over to neverstraightanswer@gmail.com, and we'll run it, and we'll even feature on the website. So it's well worth doing. And we'll catch you next week.
We will.
I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
And this has been the Never a Straight Answer podcast. Ciao.
Ciao? What the fuck?
Peace. I knew I just wanted to throw you.
Yeah, you fucking did as well.
Seriously, because I always say peace, and you just go, I knew you were going to go, what? Anyway, peace.
Swat. Out.